Hello, beautiful Aria here. It's Aromie here, not my puppy. Anyway, welcome back to the Asagao Academy. And we are here with Shane, and we're making our own bread, apparently. But where's the meat at? I need some layers. But anyway, immediately Shane folded his arms, eyeing me warily. Have you made bread before? Well, no, but that's what the cookbook is for, right? Maybe. All we need for rye bread is dry yeast, sugar, melted butter, 2 eggs, yeast, warm milk, salt, rye flour, bleach flour, vegetable oil, and caraway seeds. That's a lot for bread. That's why I only like baguettes. Baguettes are my favorite. As I read the list off, Shane pulled together the appropriate items, all but the last ingredient, which had us both puzzled. You don't happen to know where these are, do you, Shane? I pointed at the words in the book. Shane stroked his chin. Caraway seeds? Hang on. Shane dove into a tall cupboard, pushing aside whatever sat in his way. Bags of chocolate chips and nuts were pressed up against each other like sagging pillows. Flowers and oils were shifted side to side, nearly pulling out from their containers. Puffs of powder bloomed out of the cupboard and painted the counter. No, the entire area. Around Shane, talcum white. I closed my eyes as the cloud of flour hit me, dusting the words of the open cookbook, filling the air with its nothing smell. Shane peeped from the pantry cupboard and looked at my powdered face, presenting a tiny plastic shaker. Ta-da! Caraway seeds. They're smaller than I thought. All that for this little thing? With the side of my hand, I swept up the flour, resting on the cookbook pages and flung it on Shane's forehead. The blast of white wind struck him in the face. He cringed, recoiled, shook around, all with the hint of a sneeze coming on. Quit overreacting, you turd. Look at the mess you made. Shane turned, surveying the footprints he left in the flour. Whoops. It was such a dull response, but the solemnity in his voice made me think he was a truly sorry puppy. We worked together. Shane piled in the ingredients while I read him the instructions. We mixed the eggs, yeast, and flour. Eventually, the final product was placed into the oven. I blew it a kiss before shutting the door. I suppose we should work on getting your mess cleaned up. He clapped his hands together once again, masking the air in a white smoke screen. I don't see why we should rush. I doubt a single loaf of bread will suffice, so what else are we going to make? We could make some more bread, or... Sorry. I tried to keep myself from laughing, but it was impossible. I kept eyeing the flour and makeup I plastered over his face. Nice to see you put your face on for this. Why don't we bring something sweet too? I thought we were making cookies for that reason. It didn't take long for us to decide on thumbprint cookies, a classic. We whipped up the ingredients we needed to make the cookies super quickly. Flour, baking powder, eggs, nothing out of the ordinary. A few minutes passed as we mixed the cookie batter, the smell of rye bread tickling our noses. It tickled our noses a lot, actually. Too much. We both knelt down to look into the oven window and attempt to see how our bread was doing. Shane inched closer, his nose pressed up against the glass. I think it's done, isn't it? The timer hasn't gone off. It could be broken, or maybe this oven is hotter than anticipated. We shouldn't let it bake too long. I stood and Shane looked up at me, waiting for my command. I threw on an oven mitt and grabbed a pot holder. Shane jumped at my decision, snagged a pair of pot holders for himself, and gave me a reassuring nod. As I opened up the door, the smell of heat and cooked caraway seeds belched out into the kitchen. We both took a huge breath, beaming at each other. Then I reached in for the pan. But as I gripped it, I underestimated its length. I lifted it to the stovetop, my wrist tilted towards the pan. I hardly had time to react before Shane took the pan from my grip, rescuing me from a more serious burn. Ouch! Thanks. I bit my lip, trying not to betray the searing pan. How does it look? Shane set the pan on the rack furthest from me, glancing at it without even really seeing it. Kind of flat, but it's probably fine. How's your hand? Shane gingerly removed my oven mitt and examined my hand. I wiggled my fingers and smiled at him. It stings a little bit, but I'm more upset because it looks like you caught me. Red-handed. No time for lame jokes right now, Hana. Shane closed his eyes, but I grew even whiter. Despite his best efforts, a restrained chuckle smuggled its way out of him. You know, he grabbed my hand and wagged it in the direction of the oven. I can throw this thing back in there if you really want.
No!
That won't be necessary, I'm sorry. I rinsed my hand under the cold water as Shane examined the bread in the oven. Be honest, how does it look? Shane glanced from the pans to the cookbook and back repeatedly. It looks flat. Really, really flat. Hana, I dried my hands and went to his side. What went wrong? Cover and set aside in a warm, draftless area. Let rise for up to 1 full hour. They didn't wait to bake the bread. That's what happened. Shane walked over to some of the unused flour, popped his hand into it, walked back over to me, and smacked me on the forehead.
Yeah.
We can still eat it. We'll just have really thin sandwich pieces. A smile slid over his face. I couldn't help but smile back. Come on, let's get those cookies laid out. With some cooperation, we emptied the glass bowl onto a wax-lined tray. We rolled the dough into balls, arranging them neatly on a sheet pan. When all the cookies were laid out, we took turns pressing our thumbs into the squishy ball to make wells for the jam. Mine are so much smaller. Using a spoon, we then filled the imprints with strawberry jam. That should be good enough. Good for the cookies. Can you work on getting the spot cleaned up? I made sure to adjust the temperatures as needed and double check that there was nothing notably wrong with the oven. As I brought the cookie sheet to the stove, Shane started licking the wooden spoon clean of raw cookie dough. Not quite what I asked for, but good enough. As I watched, he scooped the remainder of the dough out of the bowl and plopped it into his mouth. I watched him eat about 5 cookies worth of dough. It was time to act. Stop eating the dough, you pizza!
What?
You pizza? What kind of insult is that? What did you just call me? He stuck an entire raw cookie directly from the baking sheet into his mouth. It's a term we use here to address people like you. You're a pizza. A pizza shit. What? I bopped his cheek with a wooden spoon, still covered in dough, and it splattered onto his face. Now let's get these things in the oven. We popped the cookie tray into the oven. As our last project baked, we finally cleaned the kitchen. We scrubbed dishes, bowls, silverware, wooden spoons, and everything in between. It stunk that we weren't able to watch the cookies form, but Shane and I were reminded of what our labor was all for every time we passed in front of the oven. By the time the last dish was clean and squared away, the alarm dinged. I rushed over, put my mitt and pot holder back on, and pulled out the cookies. They were perfect. Perfectly shaped, risen, and colored cookies filled the kitchen with their delectable scents. The smell was so good, in fact, that Shane and I couldn't stop ourselves from eating a huge chunk of them, gooey, warm, and crisp. To force ourselves to stop eating them, we decided to pile them together onto one large platter. There's a bunch of plasticware on the other side of the kitchen, I think. Let me go have a look. Don't worry, I'll take them over. I lifted the tray in my mitted hands. Hana, I stepped forward onto a patch of water that had splashed out of the sink. Great, GG, game over, come on. Really? Really now? Really? Really? I'm so upset right now. The cookies flew into the air slow motion. One rose just in front of me, rotating in the air, glittering like a garnet. So close. I closed my eyes tight, ready to succumb to my untimely death, but instead of the hard floor, I hit something softer, something warmer. Shane caught me. I immediately separated from him and glanced at the floor. The cookies were spread across the room, most having landed on their jam-filled tops. They were unsalvageable. Tears pricked my eyes, but I clenched my fists and held them back. This wasn't the time, not when we're having so much fun. A small sniffle escaped from me. Then something gently pressed against the top of my forehead, or my head. Try and type real quick. Alright. Something gently pressed against the top of my head. It was a quick pat, nothing else, but it eased my heart. It's okay, we've got some sandwiches to make. I took a deep breath and straightened out my skirt, trying to stay positive. And a tournament to get ready for. It's tomorrow. Nervous? Nah, not nervous at all. Yes, I am. Only a little. I figured, we've still got class this morning. Let's make those sandwiches and head out. Oh, right. Let's get to it. Tournament tomorrow. I woke up the next day, butterflies flying through my stomach. The tournament, how would things go? I had months of time to prepare, but in the end I didn't spend much time practicing, especially not compared to Ian or Ein or whichever. Would I really be able to beat him? I had to if I wanted to join the Normal Boots Club, but at least I had the picnic with Shane to look forward to, so long as I didn't mess this up. With these thoughts in my mind, I changed into my Asagao uniform and crept out of the room. It was early on a Saturday morning, and after our late night, I wanted to let my sleep. Can I skip yet? Apparently not. I stepped out in the fresh spring air, taking a deep breath. My event was one of the first ones to go, so I had to be there earlier than most. Plus, it took a little time to get to Higanbana. I should be able to skip this. I already read this before. I set my shoulder and started across the campus. The arcade at which the tournament was being held was much smaller than I expected. I felt like it would be some kind of convention, but instead it was a small local arcade filled with machines. Smaller rooms split off, which was probably where the individual competitions would take place throughout the day. A few people milled about the space, generally older folks in their 20s and 30s. I glanced at the agenda in my hand and made my way to one of the back rooms. When I entered the competition room, I found 2 chairs on an elevated platform, a computer and projector sitting between them and hooked up to separate controllers. Ian sat in one of the chairs, looking bored out of his mind.
Good morning.
Hey.
It's about time you showed up. I was starting to get worried you died. Oh, it's sweet of you to be concerned. Is it? Yeah. I got into the chair next to him. Blah, 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 blah. Oh shoot, we didn't read what they were there. I waved quietly at Shane, but Shane stood from his chair and as I watched, left the room. What happened? Don't know. I got enough points. As I stared wearily in the crowd, a blur of movement caught my eye. Luke was sitting in a chair on the fringe of the audience with the rest of the Hidden Block Club, waving frantically at me. When he saw me looking, he gave me a big thumbs up. Ian rolled his eyes.
Really?
Alright, we already read all this.
Yeah.
And then... Alright. This is when we got the 10 combo and we won.
Whoa! Aw, yeah.
Alright. So fast he stepped in front of me, grim as always. I braced myself for his infamous sarcasm. To my surprise, he laughed. Yay! I wanted... Okay. See, I did it. I won the tournament. I wanted to shout at him and rub it in his face for not believing in me, much as he tried to near the end. But I scouted the room. I realized Shane wasn't there. He never came back. But why not? Oh, his event is up next. Of course that's why. I had to go cheer him on. I dashed into the main arcade room. A smile I couldn't wipe off plastered onto my face. By the time I found him, Shane was already sitting down next to Jeff. A large projector screen stood at the front of the room, which was lined with dozens upon dozens of chairs. This was apparently quite a popular event. Seeing the other Norma Boots members gathered together in one of the front rows, I dashed up next to them and grabbed a seat.
Hana.
Ready for this? I sat up straight and cheered on Shane with the rest of Norma Boots as he chose his racer. Oh right, it's Mario Kart. He picked Sal, an anthropomorphic salamander with black skin and orange spots. My personal favorite. He was the lightest and made sharp turns. Jeff picked Frogbird. He was a massive frog, quite the opposite of Sal. His turns would be wide, but his acceleration speed let him go fast if he wasn't turning. He was a hard character to play, but if you knew how to play him correctly, he would be considered the best. He was fun, and I loved him, but mine was terrible with any character. I had first-hand experience with this. Each person chose their own track, and then there was the final track. Rainbow Race, the dazzling multicolored spectacle, inspired by the prettiest acid trip ever taken. I don't like that map. Hurts my eyeballs. To my great surprise, rather than the regular MC presiding over the race, instead PPG stood in front of the room and grabbed a microphone. Okay, each racer has chosen their best tracks, and now we're starting. Who do you think will be the winner? Probably Shane. Hey, Jeff has just as much chance as Shane does. PPG laughed. You're right. May the best man secure the win for their team. A small tadpole floating in a bubble of water wafted from the side of the screen, counting down to the start of the race. 3? 2? Okay. That was weird. I was waiting for it to fade into the counter, but it didn't go. PPG pulled out a checkered cloth and waved it wildly as the tadpole squirreled to go. Jeff and Shane both spun out at the starting line. What the fuck, PPG? Where'd you even get that? PPG shoved the flag to the floor and grinned sheepishly. I always wanted to do that. It's fine. Just don't do it again. The first race was Jeff's choice and felt more like a drag race than anything else. It was one straight line, but there were a lot of obstacles to avoid on the track. Jeff won, unsurprisingly. Sal just bounced everywhere. Luckily, Shane pulled into a tie in the next race, where Frogbird's inability to make short, quick turns really pulled a number on him. Finally, it was time for the rainbow race. I could see the strain in Shane's face, his jaws clenched tight. You can do it, Shane. Sure, Shane. Believe in you, buddy. A slight smile crossed across his face. Then the race was selected. PPG raised his checker cloth again.
No!
3 seconds after the word left their mouths, the race began. Shane started off in the lead for an entire lap, until Jeff hit him with the blue slime and sped ahead of him. Blue shell. Horrible. Dirty move.
Yeah,
You snooze, you
alright.
lose. Or, you Shane, you strain. Don't do this to me, Jeff. Shane was now struggling to catch up to Jeff. I bit my lip. Shane, kick his ass! Like, come on, dude. In the last 3 seconds, Shane pulled ahead and passed the finish line in first place. John jumped from his seat and hugged PG, nearly knocking him over. Jeff shook Shane's hand, pulling each other into a bro hug. John lifted a fist into the air, bellowing through the room.
Yeah!
Norma Boots wins! I need to choke. Cough, choke, cough. Choking on air. Alright, after a few minutes, the cheering died down. Shane's face still slightly pink approached me.
Hey.
Thank you for the support, Hana. And good job. What? You mean you're not mad at me? Why would I be angry at you? With you. You up and walked out in the middle of my event. Oh, right. Sorry. Didn't want to make you nervous and ruin your... Aww. He was just caring about us. But support... You could have support... Okay. I glared at him. I didn't buy that. Apparently Gerard didn't either.
Hold the phone.
But
What?
Shane, I thought you said it was Hana that made you nervous, not the other way over. Shh. Oh, well, that makes more sense. I guess he felt so nervous for Hana, he didn't want to deal with it, so he just walked out. Shane smacked his own face and shoved Gerard away from us. I smirked at him. I get weird feelings when you're around, and I was afraid it would compromise my racing skills. You mean butterflies in your stomach? That was weird. Game lag. Okay, weird. That's so cute, Shane. Those are normal. Well, they need to get out. What? Get out of my stomach, you damn butterflies. I don't want you there. Shane and I ambled around the arcade, playing random games as time went on. He recited an almost encyclopedic knowledge of every game we encountered, so much so that it made my head spin.
Did you know?
It's funny, because he's the guy from Did You Know Gaming, right? Right? I think so. There are only 40 copies of this cabinet in existence. No, Shane, I did not know. Finally, it was time for the MC to announce the winner of the tournament. We all crowded around him as he preened in the spotlight, a bright grin on his face. Thank you all so much for attending our tournament this year. Did we win? Both Shane and I won our events. Not everyone won their events, though, surely. And the winner of this year's tournament is the Norma Boots Club. Yay!
Yeah.
We did it! I screamed and clapped and we swarmed on stage. The poor MC didn't know what hit him. As we celebrated, Jared grabbed the microphone.
All right.
Everyone, I am pleased to announce that we have a new club member in our midst. Hana Mizuno, where are you? Shane took my hand and gently led me to the front of the stage. The crowd cheered as I tried to find somewhere to hide my face. Welcome to the club, Hana. Something warm and soft covered my shoulders. I turned to see Shane lifting my very own Norma Boots jacket over my shoulders, a blush lighting his face. I want to freak. After playing this game, it made me want to get my own varsity jacket with like a logo on it. Yeah, but mine's gonna be pink. Welcome to the club.
Shane.
Hello? When the celebrations finally ended, Shane and I walked back to Asagao hand in hand. I told you I could do it. You did. I'm proud of you. Are we still on for the picnic tomorrow then?
Yeah.
Of course. I'll pick you up then. I think. Shane stopped mid-sentence, only blinking at me.
Bye.
Okay, have a good day. He turned on his heel and stalked away. Again. I hope you wouldn't make a habit of it. Shaking my head and drawing my jacket closer to me, I headed into Primrose's house. And that's where we're gonna stop. I bet you guys are angry. But next episode should be officially the last episode with Shane. And that's gonna be where I'm gonna end this series. You guys can always play this game for yourself. There are many routes on here. 43 different endings. And obviously I have 2 bad endings for PBG and then his best ending. I didn't get his neutral ending. If they even have a neutral ending. I don't know. But then we're here with Shane. Positive we're gonna get best ending on here. Positive. If not, then that's kind of weird. But anyways, thank you guys for watching. Stay beautiful and I'll catch you guys in the next episode.